Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a Sunday benefit raised money for the family affected by the deadly Harlan County house fire. Plus, a little chaos on the campaign trail. We will tell you what went down at one candidate's campaign yesterday. And investigators in Seattle are trying to find out what caused a giant construction crane to fall on the city's busiest streets.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 6:01 on Monday, April the 29th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News This Morning. Well, yesterday was an absolutely glorious day to have the windows open, but today, probably going to want to hit that AC switch. Let's bring Brandon in who'll give you a better breakdown of what to expect. Brandon, good morning.
Good morning. And if you like some almost summer-like heat, you're going to feel some of that the next couple of days. So get ready to break out the shorts once again, sunglasses, sunscreen. It's going to be pretty nice, but a big swing in temperatures today. We start this morning with McKee, and you see over Jackson County, things are pretty quiet in the overnight hours. Not a whole lot going on this morning. Same thing on live pinpoint Doppler radars. We scan the sky. It's not a whole lot of moisture to be scanned today. 54 Wise, now 37 in Danville, 40s across most of the region, and we'll see anywhere between a normal day and a little extra on the coffee meter just because it's Monday. I always need a little extra on Monday. Day planner, as we head deeper into the afternoon, take a look at that. 5 o'clock, 82 degrees later today. So it's going to be a fairly nice and warm afternoon for this time of the year. The rest of that forecast coming up here in just a few minutes. Will?
All righty, Brandon. Thank you. Well, last week, a Harlan County fire took the lives of 3 people. 2 of those being twin toddlers that were found after the fire was put out. Their mother, Allison Howard, later died at the hospital, and the twins' father, Chad Howard, is currently fighting for his life. To help the family out, the Benham Schoolhouse Inn donated all of their proceeds from their Sunday buffet.
We are hoping to help and bless the Howard family during this time of tragedy. Our community comes together beautifully when things like this happens, and I'm so proud to be a part of the Benham Schoolhouse Inn. We just hope to be a blessing to them.
Now, they raised more than $5,000 at the event yesterday. Funeral services for Allison Howard and her twins were held yesterday at 5 p.m. at the Harlan Baptist Church. Well, being a firefighter, it can be unpredictable, but multiple agencies got together in Floyd County to train for those moments. WYMT's Marianne Fletcher talked to some who say the relationships the classes build is just as important as the knowledge they take away.
Putting your life on the line is dangerous. Many firefighters do it without pay and with little thanks. This weekend, multiple agencies came together to learn new skills and sharpen old ones.
More knowledge in here and more things for our local firemen to learn and to do and to experience.
This is Grady Allen. He is the president of the Floyd County Firefighters Association.
The more things you learn, the more things that you have at your disposal.
From vehicle extrications to water drafting. Sunday, several classes taught around 150 volunteers life-saving skills.
I love it. That's the one thing that makes the fire associations and the fire departments as a brotherhood work together.
While one of the most important skills each volunteer will take home is camaraderie.
You learn to interact with other departments, what equipment they have, what other resources that I may need if I have a massive fire at David.
Greg Davis is the fire chief of the David Fire Department. He says just seeing Augur's ladder truck is enough of a reason to come out.
That's been a good experience to see what they have in case I ever have a massive fire up at David, and I know kind of a little bit about the truck and the guys that's going to be operating it.
I even had the chance to travel about 90 feet in the air to see the truck in action, strengthening bonds and skills. In Floyd County, Marianne Fletcher, WYMT Mountain News.
I'm pretty jealous of Marianne. That's a cool story and a good one. Very important work they're doing. Now, there are 14 extensive classes. Each class is 8 hours a day. Next weekend in Lawrence County, firefighters there will work with a live structure fire. Well, this morning we could learn about the next steps in the battle between Attorney General Andy Beshear and Governor Matt Bevin. An issue now is attendance records for teachers who called out sick in protest. The Attorney General said he would sue if the governor if he did not withdraw state subpoenas for those records within 10 days. Garrett Weimer has more on the Bevin-Beshear back and forth from Frankfort.
Could this be another battle starting in a circuit courtroom and ending up in the chamber of the Supreme Court? In response to our question before Saturday night's Reagan Day dinner in Lexington, Governor Matt Bevin called Beshear's likely lawsuit a political stunt.
He's had about 3.5 years worth of a political stunt, frankly, as Attorney General. He's not a good attorney, and he's been a terrible Attorney General. It's just an absolute political stunt, but frankly, not surprising from somebody as incompetent as he is.
The Kentucky Labor Cabinet sent the subpoenas to school districts that closed because of high numbers of teacher absences. Teachers and administrators have been vocal at the Capitol, making their voices heard against a number of bills they didn't like. Attorney General Andy Beshear sent a letter to the Labor Cabinet and at a news conference earlier this month threatened legal action if the governor did not rescind those subpoenas.
They are another attempt by this governor to bully our teachers, and I've had enough, and I think our teachers have had enough too. It is time to stop these petty attacks on our teachers, and I'm going to do everything I can to stop them.
Now, the Attorney General's news conference is scheduled for 9:45 later this morning. Well, a little chaos on the campaign trail. A van crashed into a cafe where Democratic presidential hopeful Cory Booker was campaigning in Florida Sunday. Police say the crash was an accident and was not related to Booker's event. The van's driver was taken into custody for traffic violations. A passenger was taken to a hospital with minor injuries. No one inside the cafe was hurt. Booker said his chief of staff ran out to see how he could help.
Well, you know, I've had a chief of staff that was a full-time firefighter and an EMT. I was happy to see him go out there. Unfortunately, we have, traffic accidents often, and my prayers are with the two people that were injured. It seems like they're going to be okay, but we all need to just take care of each other.
Following a delay, Booker continued with his campaign event. Well, Baltimore police say a gunman opened fire in the middle of two cookouts Sunday night, killing at least one person and injuring several others. Authorities say the gunman approached an intersection where the two cookouts were taking place on opposite sides of the street and began firing into the crowd. Police say the person who died ran behind a nearby church and collapsed, and we've now learned a seventh person was injured by gunfire, bringing the total number of victims to 8. A young woman was killed in Chicago Friday night inside a cell phone store. It happened when a stray bullet crashed through the store's window from outside and struck her in the back of the head. She was standing at the counter with two children. Witnesses say two men on the corner were firing shots at each other when one of those bullets also hit an ambulance. Investigators in Seattle are trying to find out what caused a giant construction crane to fall on one of the city's busiest streets. 4 people were killed and 3 others injured. Mola Lange has the story.
A disaster zone in downtown Seattle after a crane collapsed in the South Lake Union neighborhood Saturday.
It felt like an earthquake.
2 of the victims were crane operators. 2 others, including Sarah Wong, a freshman at Seattle Pacific University, were in vehicles that were crushed.
Kabang, down she come, and I knew what it was. I was straight out the door.
Bruce Cashmere ran to help, finding a badly damaged vehicle with a mother and baby inside, somehow unharmed.
Very, very lucky baby. Very lucky. Not a mark on it. Good to see.
This cell phone video, recorded just a few minutes before the crane toppled, shows the tower beginning to lean. James Etherington saw the whole thing go down.
It started to lean, and when I say lean, it didn't stop its lean. It was going the whole time, but before I registered, it was actually falling.
James Pritchard is a crane expert and safety consultant. He says crane accidents happen for various reasons, from weather to maintenance to operator error, but by and large, crane use is safe.
With big cranes like this and the locations and everything and doing the work, they're not that common to have this dramatic type of crane accident. Smaller accidents are fairly common.
Pritchard says cranes are currently in high demand in U.S. cities. According to the Seattle Times, Seattle has more cranes in use than any other city. Mayor Jenny Durkin.
I think that we've had a good track record here, but of course we're going to pay extra attention to make sure that the cranes that are in Seattle today are safe.
The next 24 to 48 hours are said to be the most critical, as investigators will look into everything from weather conditions at the time to service and maintenance records on the equipment to try to determine exactly what caused this deadly collapse. Mola Lenghi, CBS News, New York.
Now, a cave rescue by emergency crews in Virginia Sunday afternoon brought a group of 5 men back to safety. The group, between the ages of 34 and 59, became trapped in a cave in southwest Virginia on Saturday night. The men planned on staying the night in the cave but could not get out. The rescue took place for about 8 hours yesterday morning and into the afternoon. One person was taken to the hospital for injuries. The cave is on private property, and the owner says the men did not have permission to be there.
Forecast this morning a bit on the chilly side, but again, no major issues as you head out the door. Let's take a look at the camera up on top of Whitesburg Pine Mountain there, US 119. Wildlife stirring around this morning early, and Life Pinpoint Doppler radar. A dry morning for them to be out, dry morning for you to be out as well. Temperatures in the 30s to the 50s, most of us though in the 40s this morning. Temperature change of anywhere from 2 to about 23 degrees across the region from this time yesterday morning. App Cache, you can get that app for free on both of all the app stores. Download WYMT weather app. You see sunny skies and temperatures in the low 80s by this afternoon. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. And thank you for joining us right here on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Still to come, we have all heard of therapy dogs, but what about a therapy robot dog? More details on that in just a couple of minutes. And speaking of dogs, we have a story reinforcing the common saying that dogs are a man's best friend.